Hello students, I'm Vidya. So I'll be teaching English for SSC and banking students. So today we are going to discuss about the new topic, which is modifiers and parallelism. This is kind of very important topic for you guys when you're doing your grammar part of your paper. So please listen carefully. So starting with modifiers, okay? Modifiers, modifier. So it's kind of called as the describers. I'll tell you why is it called like that, okay? So what is a modifier is nothing but, say, Geeta is there on the road and uh, she sees a girl, okay? So she'll report to Geeta saying that I saw a girl. But don't you think it's kind of boring? Like I saw a girl on the road. You need more details, like how the girl is going to look like, right? So now she'll improvise that. So how will she improvise it? She'll say right now, like this. I saw a girl with a long hair wearing a red dress. So now you can imagine her. How is she going to look? So you will imagine her with the long hair, and you will imagine her with the red dress, right? What happened over here is the it add what happened is right now you kind of imagine like how the girl is going to look with the details that I have given you. So that's what modifier does. Modifier is nothing but it adds details. Okay. Modifier adds details. Okay. So I'll make it more clear for you. So it means a modifier is a word, is a word or group of words that tells more about something. Okay. A modifier is a word or group of words that tells us more about anything that you might have. Something. Okay. So example. So example. The dog bark. So this is something very plain. The dog bark. Nothing else, right? So it kind of seems very boring also, don't you think? The dog bark. Mm. So we need to add some spice to the sentence. So now what we'll do is I'll write the big dog barked loudly. So I'm giving more details about, sorry. Hmm. Now I've just given you some detail about the dog as well as how it is barking, don't you think? Now, don't you think this kind of spice up the entire sentence and make it more clear for the listener how the entire situation was? Huh? So, this is example. So, there are types of modifiers in it. Okay, there are types of modifiers. Types of modifiers. One is adjective. Other one is adverb. In this, adjective modifier mostly tells about noun. Say, example, a sweet mango. Okay, sweet is what? Adjective. Mango is what? Noun. Okay, when it comes to adverb, it modifies the verb. Example, she runs fast. So here I'm just modifying the verb, which is adverb. So we have two types of modifiers. One is adjective, other one is adverb. Adjective modifies the noun. Example, a sweet mango. Adverb modifies a verb, which is she runs fast. Okay. Now, so in the previous example, say the dog, the dog barked loudly. Sorry, the big dog. The big dog barked loudly. We have two types of modifiers. Can anyone of you guess what, which, where, where these modifiers are used in the sentence? Any guesses? I'll tell you. One, the big. Second one, loud. While big is an adjective, it is kind of modifying the how the dog looks. Modifying the dog. Dog is what now? If you talk about loudly, it is describing what? Verb, which is this will make this as adverb. So what is it describing the verb? What is the verb bark? So it kind of explaining how kind of barked. So how it barked loudly. So this is all about your modifiers, types of modifiers. So there are a few mistakes that we 1 second. And So we kind of have few things that we have to discuss in modifiers. One is mistakes. So there are kind of mistakes that we do when it comes to modifiers, and we are going to do what are the mistakes that we can possibly do in modifiers. Kinds of modifier problems. The first one is misplaced modifiers. First one is misplaced. Just- mm. The first one is misplaced modifiers. That means placing the modifiers in a wrong place. Okay. Example, I saw a lion on the way to school. So, what is wrong with this? It's so basic. It feels like, oh, lion is going to school. Okay, because it's so rare that you see a lion on your daily basis, right? So it's like you're just mentioning it like you just have seen other kid going to school. You should add some more spice to the sentence. That is all about modifiers, is right? So how will you do on my way to school, comma, I saw a lion. Okay. So when you're going to school, you saw a lion. This is what you meant. So on the way to school, I saw a lion. So now when you are going to the school, you saw a lion. So that's a kind of a big deal, don't you think? So here what you have to remember is keep the modifier keep the modifier close to what it talks about. Okay, what it talks. Next one. Next mistake that we possibly do is dangling modifier. Dangling modifier. I'll give you an example for you to understand. Walking in the park, walking in the park, the flowers smelled nice. So we don't know who was walking and what flowers are we talking about. So here what you have to do is you have to write walking in the park, I smelled flowers. Smell the flowers. So here what is wrong is you have to mention who's the owner in the sentence. Like who's smelling the flowers. That is what you have to mention. So walking in the park, you gave an ownership to yourself, saying I smell the flowers. So giving ownership is important. Okay. So remember what you have to do. Always say who is doing the action. Always say who's doing the action. It was you are I. So you have to give ownership to someone for who's doing the action. Next mistake is funny modifier. It's a confusing. Funny modifier or squinting modifier. Squinting modifier. You can write it as a funny modifier or confusing modifier for that. Okay, why? Why is it called like that? I'll tell you. I'll give an example also first. Let me give the example. He almost drove his kids every day. He almost drove his kids every day. So what is this almost drove? It's like you didn't drive only. It's kind of like that. So what you have to do is he drove his kids almost every. So he almost drove his kids every day. Ishwanath was like almost means it's like he didn't drive. Okay. So that's why you have to say he drove his kids almost every day. So the placement should be right. So this is all about your mistakes that you can do in your modifier. So there are few tips that one can follow while doing modifiers. First one is add details next to thing you're talking about. Okay. Add details next to the thing you're talking about every time. If a sentence found the sentence sounds funny or confusing for that matter, check the modifier. Check the modifier. Okay. Third rule, look for describing words and see what they are describing. Look for describing words. And see what they are described. Okay. So these are few tips that you have to remember when it comes to modify. I hope you understood what is modifiers. I'll just give a small revision for you. A modifier is a word or a group of words that describe and give information about another word in the sentence. So it always modifies another word in the sentence. Next, there are types. One is adjective modifier, other one is adverb modifier. What is adjective modifier? It modifies a noun. What is adverb modifier? It modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb for that. So the blue car is fast. So here we are describing how the car is. An adverb modifier, beautifully. Beautifully is an adverb, and here we are describing how the verb is done properly. Now the common modifier errors is one is misplaced modifier. A misplaced modifier is a place too far from the word it modifies. So when you're modifying anything, you have to keep it next to the word that you want to modify. Okay. Next, dangling modifier is nothing but it has nothing to clearly modify or modifies the wrong noun. So walking down the road, the trees were beautiful. So it's like the trees were walking or something. So what you have to write is walking down the road, I saw beautiful trees. Okay. So a modifier is placed between two parts, so it's clear. It's placed between two parts, so it's unclear which it modifies. Here he said yesterday he will come, right? He said yesterday he will come. So yesterday is between two parts, which kind of confusing, don't you think? He, so we don't know what happened yesterday, like if he's coming or saying. So now what you have to, what's the right sentence? He said he'll come yesterday. That can be a right sentence. Or else, yesterday he said he will come. So this can also be a right. So you have to see where you're placing your modifier. So this is all about modifier. I'll give you 2 minutes break. So we'll go back to panel. Now coming back to parallelism. Okay. Parallelism means all things in a list should look the same. Okay. And now talking about parallelism, it's also called copycat. Copycat. Okay. So what is parallelism is nothing but all all things in the list. should look the same. All the things in the list should look the same. So that is called parallelism. Example, there's a building. There's one block, two block, three block, four blocks. All are called blocks. No, okay. If let's say the building has a block, a triangle, or square. This is not called parallelism. Parallelism is this, where everything should be the same. Then it's not parallelism. Okay. So I'll give an example for you. I I like to dance, singing, and to draw. To draw, singing, to dance. You think all of these are equal or same? No. It's written in different verb forms, don't you think? So we have to make it into a same verb form. I like dancing, singing, and drawing. Okay. I like dancing, singing, and drawing. So this is right. Why everything ends with ing, and which is equal, which is parallel. So that's why it is called parallel. I'll give you another example for more clear understanding. I like apples, bananas, and eating pizza. So these two are things, and here an action is being given. So don't, is it right? No. So how can you make it right? I like to eat apples, bananas, and pizza. Okay. So everything right now is of all kind. Okay. So where to use parallelism is a biggest question. Where we can use parallelism? Where to use parallelism? Okay. First, list. So in a list, like he is smart, tall, and beautiful. Here you are listing his traits. It's a kind of a list, don't you think? So there you can use parallelism. And the other one is pairs, like either or not only but also. Okay. So example, she she not only dances but also is singing. Over here you can see ing here is there, it's ing is missing here. How can you make it right? She not only dances but also sings. So there's no ing form. Okay. So this is how you can write in pairs. See, if you, tricks for parallelism would be like this. Okay. If you're making a list, So when to use parallelism is making a list. When you're making a list, then and look for words like to plus verb or ing words or just plain words. There you can find parallelism and use for patterns like either or neither nor not only but also both and. So in this space you can check the parallel. Okay. So once we revise the entire topic once. Parallelism means using same grammatical structure for two or more parts in the sentence, especially when listing things or comparing them. So you have to use same grammatical structure. So when do we need parallel structure? One is during the list. In the list or series or correlated phrases like either or neither not, and during comparisons like when you have seen words like than and as. So this is where you can use parallel structure. Example, in list she likes, here you're listing all the things that she likes, so at that time use like, if you can use singing or just verbs just like dance, read and sings. Okay. And during comparisons, all of this. So that's it about modifiers as well as your parallelism. I hope you understood the entire topic, and we'll be discussing about the grammar part in the SSC and banking syllabus in the next class. Thank you.